Hi everybody. I want to share an analogy that I actually gave my son last night. And this is, why is it whenever you're in a perpetual conflict, and it seems like no matter what you do or try, this other person legitimately does not understand or care where you're coming from, even though like you're able to fully understand their viewpoint, their perspective. But for some damn reason, you just cannot get this person to understand your side of the story. And that leads to a large amount of frustration, just never-ending conflict, and the inability to get this person to at least understand or recognize your viewpoint and your position. Here's what drives that. So there's a cartoon that I saw, I guess within about the last year or so, but it's a well-known illustration. If I were to take a piece of chalk and draw the number 6 on the ground, and I stand at the bottom of the 6 and somebody else stands at the top of the 6, to them it looks like a 9. To me, it looks like a 6. So then you have a conversation about it. You say, well, this is a 6. And the other person says, no, it's a 9. And you're like, no, really, it's a 6. I know because I drew a 6. It only looks like a 9 to you because you're on the other side of it. Right? Now, the way normal, empathetic people go about resolving this conflict is you have to have the ability to, first of all, you have to be able to see things from somebody else's point of view, right? So the way that this illustration would be resolved is you walk over to them and you say, oh, well, from here where you're standing, it definitely looks like a 9. I can understand your point of view whenever I stand over here. So I understand that. So it definitely looks like a 9. Maybe it isn't a 9. Maybe that's not what the original artist, myself, intended. I didn't intend for it to look like a 9. I intended for it to look like a 6, but I wasn't considering how it would look from the other end of the drawing when I drew it on the ground. So, I mean, I drew it fully expecting it to look like a 6. However, unfortunately, it looks like a 9, right? So that's how you would explain it. And, of course, if somebody else is drawing it and you end up, on the other end of it, you're like, no, dude, that's a 9. And they're like, no, seriously, come over here and have a look, because I drew it from over here. Come have a look from my point of view, and you'll understand why I'm saying it's originally a 6. And you get over there and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I can totally see how, from your viewpoint, when you drew this, you fully intended for this to be a 6. I was mistaken at first, but understand, I only misunderstood because of where I was standing at first, right? So that's how normal conflicts break down. And the dynamic behind this is two people are talking about the same thing. It's the same drawing on the ground. Nothing has changed about that. It is what it is. It's a drawing on the ground. It's a chalk drawing. Depending on where you stand, that determines what you think it is. And of course, and I added this to it for my son. I said, and of course, then every once in a while you get the weirdos climbing up in a tree and they're like, oh, it looks like an apostrophe or maybe a comma, right? So, but those people are just way off the deep end, and you get them from time to time, right? So, but overall, I mean, that's how you get a conflict over two different viewpoints of the same thing. Oh my goodness, the sun is bright. Oh wow. I'm gonna have to change directions here. But that's the underlying mechanics of most misunderstandings and disagreements. I understand this is a very simplistic point of view, but I'm trying not to make this too complicated. Remember, this was for a 9-year-old, right? Now, what happens if you draw the 6 and somebody comes up and says this is a 9, and you say, no, this is a 6. I am the one who drew this. I drew a 6. It just looks like a 9 to you. You need to come over here to where I'm standing and understand from my viewpoint and my perspective of why it's a 6. and you meet somebody who does not have the capacity nor the willingness to come over to where you're at, and they say, no, it's a 9. Look, I'm not an idiot. I know a 9 whenever I see it. I don't have to come over there, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to come over there because I know it's a 9. It's very clearly a 9. And you're not going to waste my time trying to convince me that this 9 is a 6. You know, you're like, no, seriously, it's a 6. You need to come over here. And they're like, I'm not going to. I don't care how much you ask me, how many times you ask me. I'm not going to, because, look, I'm not stupid, okay? This is basic numerology. I know a 9. It's freaking 9, right? This is not a P, okay? This is not some sort of upside down B or D or P or Q. It's a 9. It's not even a 6, okay? Not an apostrophe, not a comma. Why are weirdos in the trees? You know, so you get somebody that's very stubborn like that. And there's that leads to the problem, because now you're getting exasperated just trying to get this person to understand, right? And some people are just like that. And I'm not going to try and dissect the psychology of every single person that does this, but the underpinning is the same. They are either unable or they are unwilling to walk around to where you stand and understand your viewpoint, your perspective. They're unwilling to see their 9 from somebody else's point of view, because then that turns their 9 over on its head and flips everything that they know and everything that they think, flips it around to become a 6. And their 9, their world, their viewpoint has gotten turned upside down. And they don't want their world turned upside down. They don't want their perspective turned upside down. They don't want their 9 turned over to look like a 6. They're not even going to entertain the idea. They're not going to even give it a chance. Why? Who knows? Maybe growing up they had lots of experiences. I don't know, right? I can't possibly dissect every weirdo in the world, but overall, that's the position, right? So, I mean, how do you handle this? Well, I mean, you draw the 6 on the driveway, or the pavement, or the sidewalk, and you got to recognize every once in a while somebody's going to come around and they're going to think it's a 9. Every once in a while you're going to have a tree climber saying, "Oh, hey, that's a nice apostrophe you drew." What do you say? You'd be like, "Thanks, weirdo." People are always going to view it differently if they're not standing in your shoes. And that's fine, because most people are free thinkers. Most people can see, oh, that's a 9. Well, I mean, when you say, what does this look like to you? And they say, well, from where I'm standing, I'm a 9. But every once in a while, you get somebody who's a genius who you just love. And they're like, well, to me it looks like a 9, but I can totally understand, like, from your viewpoint, like, it may actually look like a 6 to you. And you're like, oh my God, you totally just saved me some time. Thank you. Now, how do you handle these? Yeah, how do you handle these people? I've said it in a few other videos. I'm going to repeat it here, and this is what I tell my son when it comes to telling the truth and people. And I think that this is very profound and a very, very good policy in general. And that is this. If you tell somebody the truth and they get mad at you or they get upset, there's nothing else you can do. You can't help that person. Okay? There are times where telling the truth is hurtful, right? And that's why some people tell white lies, because they don't want to hurt people. But the thing is, if you tell the truth and people get mad at you for telling them the truth, it's not your problem. It's not your fault either. Okay? You have told them the truth. That is literally the best, most helpful thing you can do for someone is to tell them the truth. And if that's not enough for them, you're not the one with the problem. They're the ones with the problem. They're that person who refuses to accept anything other than the fact that what you drew is a 9 to them, because they know a 9, right? And how dare you ever suggest that it could be a 6, right? And then my son says, well, what about like if you broke something of theirs, right? I mean, they're mad. I mean, technically, you say it's not their problem, but you also broke something of theirs. And I say, well, no, it still applies, and here's why, okay? First of all, if you break something of somebody's, they're going to be upset about that no matter what. I mean, what's broke is broke, okay? But at that point, you go to them and you tell them the truth that you broke it. Yes, they're going to be mad. They're going to be mad that you broke it. They're not mad you told them the truth. The second you tell them some other story or start lying to them or hide it, what you've now done is you have given them even more to be mad about. So if you break something of somebody's, they're going to be mad. End of story. They're just going to be mad, right? It's fine. That's part of life. That's just how it is. So you tell them the truth, and they don't, and they will be, that will be the lowest level of mad that they could ever be. When you start lying to people about it, start covering your tracks, you're going to make them even more mad because you give them more things to be mad about. Now they're mad that you broke something, and on top of that, they're mad you broke something, and then they're mad that you lied, and then they're even more mad that you continued to lie after they found out it was you who broke it. So now they're mad that something's broken. They're mad that you didn't even fess up for it. They're mad that you lied to them. They're even more mad that you continued to lie to them. Right? So if you break something, tell the truth. They're going to be mad, period. Don't set them up to be any more mad than they need to be. Because they're going to be mad. They're going to say, oh man, yes, I'm upset you broke it, but I appreciate you telling me the truth. Even if that's not what they say right away, they will come to appreciate you being truthful about it at some point. Unless you broke it out of anger or spite or something, whatever. But that's not the point. So the point of it is, son, what I tell him and what I'm telling all of you, is that you go through life doing the things. Everybody gets through life doing what they feel is best. Everybody acts upon what they think and feel is best. You can do what you think is best. You can do what you feel is best, or any shade of gray between thinking rationally and feeling compassionately or sympathetically or empathetically, right? The point is, people do the things that they feel are right, good, or justified, or necessary, right? They either feel it's the right thing to do, they feel it's a good thing to do, or they feel it is justified, or they feel it is necessary, okay? You're the one who takes your chalk, and you're the one that puts yourself out there, and you make your drawings, and you got to understand, not everybody is going to have the same viewpoint as you because you're standing where you stand. People can stand close to where you stand, but they'll never be standing in your shoes and in your space. They will always have a very close viewpoint, and that's the best you can hope for. But some people are on the opposite viewpoint, viewing the same thing from a different angle, and now a 6 becomes a 9. And you're always going to deal with the people who have the mental capacity to see things from two sides of view, from their point of view and from yours. Every once in a while, you get some of those motherfuckers. I didn't say that to my son. But you get those people that just are absolutely stubborn and set in their ways. They see what they see, and then that's it for them. That's the reality, and they're not going to waver from it. All you can do is tell them, dude, I drew a 6, can't help you. And if they're mad, and if they walk off thinking you drew a 9, then their own ignorance is their problem, not yours. You did the best you could. I'm out of time. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you on the next video.